Have you ever felt that a relationship wasn't quite what it seemed? Perhaps a colleague who appears supportive whispers contrary opinions to your boss behind your back, or a friend you confided in turns your personal stories into public gossip. Maybe it's someone close to you, someone whose promises vanish as easily as they're made. These situations don't just sting, they leave you questioning whether trust is even possible in today's world. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to overlook the subtle red flags. Disappointment, doubt, and betrayal quietly erode trust, leaving us drained and off balance. But here's the truth: this isn't just a modern problem. More than 2 millennia ago, the great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, delved deeply into human nature and outlined principles to identify those who cannot be trusted. Today, we'll explore 9 unmistakable signs that reveal untrustworthy individuals. These signs are not only tools to safeguard your relationships, but also keys to preserving your inner peace. The ultimate treasure in Stoic philosophy. Take this time for yourself and don't miss a single moment. This isn't just advice, it's wisdom forged through centuries of human experience, ready to reshape how you perceive the relationships in your life. Stay with me on this journey. The moments you invest in this video will not only help you discern who is unworthy of your trust, but also guide you toward a more harmonious and fulfilling life. 1. They lie. Lying is among the most destructive behaviors that undermine trust. No matter how trivial or seemingly harmless, dishonesty creates fractures in the foundation of relationships, weakening their integrity with each falsehood. The Stoics held truth as a sacred virtue, essential to harmony and moral strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Meditations, Book 12. This unwavering commitment to truth underscores the necessity of honesty in fostering meaningful connections. Lies often originate from fear of judgment, failure, or facing the consequences of one's actions. Regardless of intent, lying prioritizes self-interest over respect for others. Picture a colleague who insists they've completed their part of a shared project. Yet, as the deadline looms, it becomes apparent they've barely started. Their deceit forces you to scramble to cover for them, jeopardizing the project and placing undue strain on the relationship. Such patterns of dishonesty breed resentment and erode trust, leaving lasting scars on teamwork and collaboration. Beyond the immediate consequences, dishonesty has a profound psychological toll. Lies manipulate your perception of reality, compelling you to question not only the liar's words, but your own instincts. This constant state of doubt corrodes confidence and mental clarity. Seneca aptly noted, "Falsehood brings confusion, while truth brings simplicity." Letters to Lucilius, Letter 95. Lies do not merely harm relationships, they corrode the integrity of the liar and those who trust them. The Stoics remind us that words must align with actions for genuine peace to flourish. When faced with dishonesty, the first step is observation. A single lie might be forgivable, but a pattern of deceit reveals a deep-seated character flaw. Establish boundaries and communicate your expectations clearly. Integrity must be non-negotiable in any relationship. Furthermore, embodying honesty in your own life sets a standard for others to follow, fostering an environment of trust and respect. In some cases, however, walking away becomes the wisest course of action. If someone persistently undermines your trust, it may be a sign that the relationship is irreparably broken. Epictetus advised, "Do not be disturbed by what you cannot control. Focus on what lies within your power." Discourses, Book 1. By choosing to protect your peace, you prevent the chaos dishonesty creates from infiltrating your life. Ultimately, lying is a betrayal. not only of others, but also of oneself. It reflects an unwillingness to confront reality and a disregard for the sanctity of relationships. Recognizing dishonesty and taking decisive steps to address it empowers you to preserve your inner harmony and nurture connections rooted in authenticity. Truth, as the Stoics teach us, is not simply a virtue. It is the foundation of all meaningful and enduring relationships. 2. They betray secrets. Trusting someone with your secrets is a profound act of vulnerability, a gesture that signals faith in their character. Yet, when someone betrays that trust by sharing your private information, the damage is devastating. Betrayal of secrets not only turns your personal life into gossip, but also leaves you questioning your own judgment. As Marcus Aurelius observed, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Meditations, Book 5. A person who betrays secrets reveals not just a disregard for your trust, but also a lack of integrity within themselves. Imagine confiding in a colleague about a deeply personal challenge. Perhaps you're struggling with stress at work or facing a family crisis, and you trust them to keep this information private. Yet, within days, fragments of your story are circulating through the office, exaggerated and twisted into rumors. The betrayal is twofold. Your vulnerability is exploited, and your faith in the confidant is shattered. Such actions sow doubt, making you hesitant to share or trust others in the future. Why do people betray secrets? Often the reasons are superficial: a fleeting desire to appear important, a moment of attention-seeking, or the illusion of power gained from possessing private knowledge. But these actions reveal a deeper flaw: the prioritization of short-term gains over the long-term value of relationships. Over time, these betrayals accumulate, eroding trust not only between you and the betrayer, but also in your relationships with others. From a Stoic perspective, how we respond to betrayal shapes our growth and resilience. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Meditations, Book 6. Instead of letting resentment fester, treat such betrayals as lessons in discernment. Recognize that their failure to honor your trust reflects their limitations, not your worth. By maintaining your composure, you preserve your inner peace. To address this behavior, begin by setting firm boundaries. Communicate your disappointment clearly, but without anger. "When you shared what I told you in confidence, it hurt me and damaged our trust." Such conversations establish accountability and clarify the gravity of their actions. Moving forward, limit the information you share with them. Trust, once broken, is no longer a given. It must be earned back slowly and through consistent actions. In some cases, severing ties may be necessary. Betrayal of secrets disrupts the foundational pillars of any meaningful connection, and allowing repeat offenses can harm your emotional well-being. As Seneca advised, associate with those who make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. Letters to Lucilius, Letter 48. Surround yourself with people who value discretion and integrity, cultivating relationships that are strong, enduring, and built on mutual respect. Ultimately, the betrayal of secrets is not just a breach of trust, it is a window into the betrayer's character. By recognizing such behavior early, setting boundaries, and choosing to align with trustworthy individuals, you protect your peace and strengthen your connections. The Stoics remind us that trust is sacred, and by guarding it, we safeguard the harmony and authenticity of our lives. Take a moment to reflect. This journey isn't just about spotting untrustworthy people, it's about building stronger, healthier relationships and protecting your peace of mind. If you found value in this content, support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Together we can create a community rooted in trust and wisdom. Let's continue this journey of growth and understanding. Your support means everything. 3. Persistent jealousy. Jealousy is one of the most corrosive forces in human relationships. It often begins subtly, disguised as harmless envy or playful remarks, but over time, it reveals itself as a toxic force that eats away at trust and mutual respect. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, warned against the perils of jealousy, identifying it as an emotion rooted not in external circumstances, but in internal insecurity. As Seneca aptly stated, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Letters to Lucilius, Letter 2. Picture this. After months of hard work, you've earned a long-awaited promotion. You share the news with a close friend, expecting genuine congratulations. Instead, their response is tepid. "Good for you, I guess. Must be nice to have luck on your side." While their words may seem polite, their tone and the underlying resentment are hard to ignore. Over time, this unspoken envy can manifest in passive-aggressive remarks, exclusion from meaningful interactions, or even deliberate efforts to undermine your success. What makes jealousy particularly insidious is its tendency to hide in plain sight. A jealous person may outwardly appear supportive while secretly hoping for your failure. In more severe cases, their envy may lead to subtle acts of sabotage, spreading rumors, withholding critical information, or downplaying your achievements in front of others. These behaviors not only betray trust, but also create an environment of hostility and doubt, forcing you to constantly question their intentions. From a Stoic perspective, jealousy is not merely a flaw in character, but a symptom of unregulated desires and misplaced priorities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Meditations, Book 2. A person consumed by jealousy dwells on comparisons, perceiving your success as their failure. Their inability to celebrate others' achievements stems from dissatisfaction with their own life, a battle they externalize onto others rather than addressing within themselves. How can you respond to persistent jealousy without compromising your inner peace? The first step is recognition. Observe patterns of behavior, passive-aggressive comments, unwarranted criticism, or lack of support when you share your successes. Once identified, maintain composure and resist the urge to retaliate emotionally. Epictetus advised, "We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." Enchiridion, Chapter 5. Acknowledging jealousy without letting it disrupt your calm is a hallmark of Stoic resilience. Practically, it's essential to set boundaries with individuals exhibiting jealous tendencies. Limit the personal information you share, especially about achievements or aspirations. Instead, surround yourself with people who genuinely uplift and encourage you. The Stoics believed that the company we keep shapes our character, so seek out relationships that are built on mutual respect and support. If jealousy escalates into toxicity or harm, distancing yourself from such individuals may become necessary for your well-being. Persistent jealousy is a quiet but powerful destroyer of trust. It transforms admiration into competition, support into resentment, and harmony into discord. By recognizing its roots and addressing it with clarity and strength, you safeguard not only your peace of mind, but also the integrity of your relationships. As the Stoics remind us, true strength lies in maintaining inner harmony, regardless of external turmoil. Seneca's words echo this wisdom. The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. Letters to Lucilius, Letter 2. Jealousy, at its core, is a reflection of misplaced desire, one that we must confront with wisdom and resolve. 4. Two-faced behavior. Two-faced behavior is one of the most destructive forms of betrayal in relationships. Unlike inconsistency, which may stem from carelessness or a lack of self-awareness, two-faced behavior is deliberate and calculated. It involves presenting one version of oneself to you while revealing an entirely different persona to others. The duplicity is often motivated by self-interest, whether for personal gain, validation, or the manipulation of others' perceptions. Imagine a family scenario. A cousin praises your hard work in front of the family, emphasizing how impressed they are with your achievements. Later, you hear they've told other relatives your success is undeserved and due to favoritism. This kind of behavior doesn't just hurt, it undermines the authenticity of every interaction you've had with them, making you question their sincerity. In professional settings, the damage from two-faced behavior can ripple widely. Picture a colleague who supports your ideas during team meetings, nodding in agreement and advocating for your input. Yet, when speaking privately to your supervisor, they subtly discredit your contributions, framing you as unreliable or less competent. This manipulation not only erodes your trust in them, but also disrupts the team dynamic, creating an atmosphere of suspicion. Friendships are also vulnerable to this behavior. Consider a friend who listens empathetically to your challenges, only to recount your struggles to others as gossip. Their two-faced nature exposes your vulnerabilities to an unintended audience, leaving you hesitant to confide in others. Over time, the emotional toll of such betrayals can make it difficult to trust again. The defining feature of two-faced behavior is its intentionality. It's not about forgetfulness or a lack of discipline, it's about choice. A two-faced individual carefully crafts their image based on the audience, often seeking approval or power at the expense of others. Marcus Aurelius captured the essence of this in Meditations. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Book 10. A person with integrity aligns their words and actions, while duplicity thrives on the absence of this alignment. Start by recognizing the signs. Observe whether their actions shift depending on the audience. Do they praise you in public but undermine you in private? Once you've identified a pattern, maintain your composure and avoid reacting emotionally. Set clear boundaries and, if necessary, confront them with specific examples of their duplicity. Seneca's wisdom is particularly relevant here. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Letters to Lucilius, Letter 76. Limit your reliance on two-faced individuals and focus on building relationships with those who demonstrate authenticity. Ultimately, addressing this behavior is about preserving your peace and fostering environments where trust can flourish. By stepping away from duplicity, you create space for genuine and meaningful connections. 5. Inconsistency. Inconsistency, unlike two-faced behavior, is rarely deliberate. It stems from a lack of reliability or self-discipline, yet its impact on trust is no less severe. Inconsistent individuals fail to follow through on commitments or maintain predictable behavior, creating instability in relationships and leaving others unsure of where they stand. In professional environments, inconsistency can disrupt productivity and collaboration. Imagine a teammate who agrees to take on a crucial role in a project but frequently misses deadlines or forgets key details. While they don't actively sabotage the work like a two-faced colleague might, their unreliability forces others to compensate for their lapses. Over time, their behavior creates resentment and weakens team cohesion. In personal relationships, inconsistency can manifest as emotional unpredictability. Picture a romantic partner who alternates between being deeply attentive and completely disengaged. One day, they're enthusiastic about making plans. The next, they cancel without explanation. This unpredictability leaves you confused and unsure of the relationship's stability. Unlike two-faced behavior, which involves deliberate deception, inconsistency is often unintentional but equally damaging. Friendships are not immune to the effects of inconsistency. Think of a friend who enthusiastically agrees to meet but cancels repeatedly at the last minute, often with vague excuses. Each instance may seem forgivable, but the pattern reveals a lack of consideration for your time and effort. Over time, this erodes trust and strains the bond between you. From a Stoic perspective, inconsistency reflects a failure to align intentions with actions. Epictetus's teaching, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do," Discourses, Book 3, underscores the importance of deliberate effort and dependability. Inconsistent behavior often stems from overcommitment or a lack of focus, but its impact on others can be profound. Begin by distinguishing between occasional lapses and chronic unreliability. Everyone falters at times, and empathy is important in such instances. However, habitual inconsistency requires direct communication. For example, instead of accusing someone with statements like, "You always let me down," try saying, "When plans change unexpectedly, it's challenging for me to adjust." This approach encourages reflection without provoking defensiveness. If inconsistency persists, establish boundaries to protect your time and emotional energy. Avoid relying on inconsistent individuals for critical responsibilities, and consider making plans that don't hinge entirely on their participation. As Seneca wisely observed, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable in the face of what cannot be controlled." Letters to Lucilius, Letter 9. Focusing on what you can control ensures that their unpredictability doesn't disrupt your peace. While inconsistency may lack the malice of two-faced behavior, it gradually undermines trust and stability in relationships. By addressing it with clarity and maintaining your own reliability, you create a foundation for connections built on mutual respect and dependability. Trust thrives where consistency prevails, and by embodying this virtue, you set a standard for others to follow. 6. Guilt manipulation. Guilt is one of the most powerful emotions in human relationships. It stems from our innate sense of responsibility and empathy, which makes it an effective tool for manipulation when wielded by the wrong person. Have you ever found yourself agreeing to something against your better judgment, simply to avoid feeling guilty? That's a red flag, signaling a dynamic that undermines trust and mutual respect. The Stoics emphasized the importance of mastering our emotions and maintaining clarity of thought. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Meditations, Book 4. Imagine this: a parent continually reminds their adult child of the sacrifices they made while raising them. Phrases like, "I worked tirelessly to provide for you, and now you can't even visit me once a week," might sound familiar. At first, it seems reasonable to feel obligated to fulfill such expectations. However, over time, the repeated imposition of guilt becomes a method of control. The parent may not even recognize their behavior as manipulative, but its effects are clear. The child feels pressured into compliance, not out of love or willingness, but to escape the heavy burden of guilt. In romantic relationships, guilt often takes a more subtle form. Consider a partner who responds to a disagreement by saying, "If you truly loved me, you wouldn't act this way." This shifts the focus away from resolving the conflict to questioning your feelings and loyalty. Instead of fostering healthy communication, it traps you in a cycle of self-doubt. Over time, this dynamic erodes trust, making the relationship feel more like a power struggle than a partnership. Even friendships are not immune to guilt-based manipulation. A friend might say, "After all I've done for you, I can't believe you wouldn't help me with this one thing." While their words may evoke sympathy, repeated use of such tactics turns the relationship transactional. Instead of mutual respect, it becomes a one-sided dynamic where you are expected to continually repay a debt that keeps growing. The Stoics understood the danger of letting external pressures dictate our actions. Epictetus taught, "Remember, it is not he who gives abuse or blows who affronts, but the view we take of these things as insulting." Discourses, Book 1. In this case, the manipulator's words only have power if we allow guilt to cloud our judgment. The key is to recognize the difference between genuine accountability and imposed guilt. Genuine accountability aligns with our values and encourages us to act responsibly. Manipulated guilt, on the other hand, coerces us into decisions that feel inauthentic and draining. Start by asking yourself, am I acting out of genuine willingness or simply to avoid guilt? This question helps clarify your motives and identify whether the guilt is being imposed unfairly. When you notice manipulation, it's important to set boundaries. For example, you could say, "I understand your concerns, but I need to make this decision based on what feels right for me." In some cases, the manipulator may not even realize the impact of their actions. A calm, honest conversation can be enlightening. Explain how their words affect you, using specific examples, such as, "When you say things like, 'I thought you cared,' it makes me feel pressured rather than supported." The Stoics remind us that we must prioritize our inner peace above all else. As Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Letters to Lucilius, Letter 37. Freedom, in this sense, means the ability to act in alignment with your values, free from the weight of imposed guilt. By recognizing and addressing guilt manipulation, you protect not only your autonomy, but also the integrity of your relationships. True connections are built on mutual respect and understanding, not coercion. When you let go of relationships that rely on guilt, you make space for healthier, more fulfilling bonds rooted in trust and authenticity. Isn't that the kind of peace and balance the Stoics would encourage us to pursue? 7. Ambiguous behavior. Ambiguity in actions and words is a subtle yet pervasive sign that someone may not be trustworthy. It is not as overt as lying or as manipulative as guilt imposition, but it creates an environment of doubt and insecurity that quietly erodes trust. Stoicism teaches us to value clarity and directness in our dealings with others. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your principles be brief, comprehensive, and consistent." Meditations, Book 3. When someone is evasive or vague, they challenge our ability to rely on them, leaving us in a constant state of uncertainty. Imagine a romantic partner who avoids answering direct questions about their feelings or plans. You ask, "Are we working towards a future together?" and receive a vague response like, "I think we're in a good place right now." Such ambiguity keeps you in limbo, unsure of where you stand. Over time, this lack of clarity breeds frustration and mistrust. Are they being honest but indecisive, or are they intentionally keeping you in the dark? Without clear communication, the foundation of the relationship becomes shaky and mutual confidence fades. In a professional setting, ambiguity can have far-reaching consequences. Imagine working with a colleague who is never straightforward about their responsibilities. When asked about a deadline, they respond with statements like, "I'll try to get to it soon," without committing to a clear timeline. Their inability to provide concrete answers or follow through creates confusion and disrupts team dynamics. Projects are delayed, accountability is evaded, and trust within the team diminishes. As Epictetus warned, only the educated are free. Discourses, Book 2. In this context, educated refers to clarity and understanding, which are essential for meaningful collaboration. Friendships also suffer when someone's behavior is consistently unclear. Think of a friend who agrees to meet but cancels at the last minute without a solid reason, or who avoids addressing conflicts directly. They might say, "I just don't feel like talking about it," leaving you to wonder if the issue is resolved or festering. Such patterns of mumbled excuses and half-hearted commitments make it hard to rely on them, eroding the very trust that sustains true friendship. Ambiguity, whether intentional or accidental, reflects a lack of self-discipline and alignment with one's values. Stoic philosophy champions directness and transparency, recognizing that clarity fosters trust. Seneca emphasized, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart, and nothing is more certain than a straightforward man." Letters to Lucilius, Letter 31. A person who is mired in ambiguity fails to honor both themselves and their relationships, leaving those around them to navigate a fog of uncertainty. When faced with ambiguous behavior, the first step is to seek clarification. Ask direct questions and observe their responses. If someone consistently evades responsibility or refuses to provide clear answers, it may indicate a deeper issue of unreliability. For example, instead of accepting vague promises, ask for specifics. "When can I expect this to be done?" Or, "What do you mean by that?" If their behavior doesn't change, consider setting boundaries. Protect your time and energy by limiting your reliance on them. In cases where their ambiguity becomes harmful, it may be necessary to reevaluate the relationship altogether. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Meditations, Book 10. Focus on cultivating relationships with those who value transparency and accountability. Ambiguity creates an unstable foundation for any relationship, whether personal or professional. By addressing it with clarity and composure, you uphold your own values while creating space for authentic and trustworthy connections. The Stoics teach us to act with intention and expect the same from others, for only through clarity can we achieve the harmony and trust that sustain meaningful relationships. 8. Lack of accountability. A refusal to take responsibility is one of the clearest signs that someone cannot be trusted. People who habitually shift blame onto others undermine trust and damage the foundations of any relationship. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of owning our actions, understanding that responsibility is both a virtue and a requirement for growth. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." Meditations, Book 6. This highlights that accountability is not a weakness, but a strength rooted in the pursuit of truth. Imagine working on a project with a colleague who neglects their tasks, leading to missed deadlines. When questioned, they respond, "You didn't give me enough information," or "The instructions weren't clear." Their unwillingness to admit their oversight shifts the burden onto you, creating unnecessary tension. Their refusal to take responsibility not only delays progress, but fosters mistrust within the team, as others must constantly compensate for their failures. In personal relationships, a lack of accountability can manifest in subtle but corrosive ways. Picture a partner who avoids acknowledging their mistakes during conflicts, instead saying, "You're too sensitive," or "It's not my fault you misunderstood." This deflection shifts the focus away from their behavior, leaving you to shoulder the emotional burden of resolving the issue. Over time, such dynamics erode the mutual respect and understanding essential to healthy relationships. Even in friendships, accountability, or the lack of it, plays a crucial role. Think of a friend who borrows money and fails to repay it. When confronted, they offer excuses such as unforeseen expenses or forgetfulness, but make no genuine effort to rectify the situation. Their actions signal a disregard for your trust, and repeated instances like this make it clear that reliability is not their priority. The Stoics understood that accountability is the foundation of trust and the key to personal integrity. Epictetus advised, "When someone does wrong to you, immediately consider what view of good or evil led them to wrong you. When you see this, you will pity them, and you will neither feel astonished nor angry." Enchiridion, chapter 42. This perspective encourages us to approach unaccountable behavior with understanding, but it also underscores the need to recognize its limitations in building meaningful connections. To address a lack of accountability, clarity and directness are essential. Begin by identifying specific instances of the behavior and calmly presenting them. For example, in a professional setting, you might say, "The project was delayed because the assigned tasks weren't completed on time. How can we ensure this doesn't happen again?" Framing the discussion constructively allows the individual an opportunity to reflect and take corrective action. However, if the behavior persists, it may be necessary to limit your reliance on them and establish boundaries to protect your time and energy. In severe cases, walking away from the relationship may be the best course of action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." B1, Meditations, Book 10. This reminds us to focus on cultivating relationships with those who value honesty and responsibility, rather than investing in those who consistently avoid accountability. Ultimately, a refusal to take responsibility damages not only the trust others place in someone, but also their own potential for growth. By recognizing and addressing such behavior, we uphold the values of integrity and fairness, creating space for relationships that thrive on mutual respect. The Stoics teach us that accountability is not just a moral duty, it is the cornerstone of building trust and fostering meaningful, enduring connections. 9. They don't celebrate your success. A true friend or ally takes genuine joy in your achievements. They celebrate your milestones as if they were their own, uplifting and inspiring you to reach even greater heights. However, when someone cannot celebrate your success, it signals a deeper issue: envy, insecurity, or resentment. This silent betrayal undermines trust and corrodes the foundation of any relationship. The Stoics teach us to cherish those who uplift us and to recognize when others fail to do so. As Seneca reminds us, there is no delight in owning anything unshared with others. Letters to Lucilius, Letter 48. Imagine achieving a major milestone, a promotion, completing a significant project, or reaching a personal goal you've worked hard for. You share the news with someone close to you, expecting their support and enthusiasm. Instead, you're met with a lukewarm response, a faint smile, a dismissive "good for you," or even a comment like, "Must be nice to have all the luck." Their reaction isn't just disappointing, it's telling. It reveals an inability to celebrate your accomplishments, highlighting their envy or indifference. This behavior often stems from feelings of inadequacy. Rather than seeing your success as a source of inspiration, they perceive it as a threat, a reminder of what they lack or haven't achieved. Over time, their inability to share in your joy creates a rift, making it clear that they prioritize their own insecurities over supporting you. Relationships built on such dynamics become draining, as you find yourself constantly downplaying your victories to avoid their discomfort. In the workplace, this issue can manifest as colleagues who minimize your contributions or fail to acknowledge your achievements. Perhaps you receive recognition for a project, and instead of congratulating you, a coworker says, "Well, it's easy when you have the right resources." Their subtle dismissal detracts from your hard work, making you question whether your efforts will ever be valued. This lack of support fosters a toxic environment where collaboration and trust erode. The same can happen in friendships. Picture a friend who avoids discussing your successes altogether, quickly changing the subject or steering the conversation back to their own challenges. While they may not openly criticize you, their silence speaks volumes. Genuine friends should be your loudest cheerleaders, celebrating your growth and achievements without reservation. Romantic relationships are not immune to this behavior. A partner who feels threatened by your accomplishments may downplay your success or respond with jealousy rather than pride. For example, if you land a promotion, they might say, "I guess I'll never catch up to you now," making the moment about their insecurities rather than your accomplishment. Over time, this dynamic breeds resentment and weakens the emotional bond. Stoic philosophy encourages us to evaluate our relationships honestly. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Meditations, Book 2. Surrounding yourself with those who celebrate your successes fosters positivity and growth, while tolerating those who cannot share in your joy drains your energy and diminishes your achievements. To address this behavior, begin by observing patterns. Is their inability to celebrate your success an isolated incident or a recurring theme? If it persists, consider having a candid conversation. Express how their lack of support affects you, framing it constructively. "I value your opinion, and it means a lot when you share in my achievements. Is something holding you back from celebrating with me?" Their response will offer insight into whether the relationship can be repaired. Ultimately, those who cannot celebrate your success reveal their true character. Genuine relationships thrive on mutual support, encouragement, and shared joy. By recognizing and addressing this silent betrayal, you protect your emotional well-being and make room for connections that uplift and inspire. As the Stoics remind us, life's greatest achievements are meant to be shared, for in sharing, we find deeper meaning and fulfillment. As we conclude our exploration of these 9 signs of untrustworthy behavior, it becomes evident that the wisdom of Stoic philosophy remains profoundly relevant. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus provided us with timeless tools to navigate the complexities of human relationships. Their teachings remind us that trust is not merely given, it is earned, nurtured, and protected through mutual respect, accountability, and clarity. In this journey, we've uncovered how dishonesty, jealousy, manipulation, and ambiguity silently erode trust. Yet, we've also seen that by recognizing these behaviors early and responding with composure and intention, we can safeguard our inner peace and cultivate healthier, more authentic connections. As Seneca wisely remarked, "Associate with those who make you a better man." Letters to Lucilius, Letter 48. This advice is not just a guideline for relationships, but a call to surround ourselves with individuals who elevate our character and aspirations. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs resonated most with your experiences? Have you encountered moments where identifying these red flags helped you make better decisions or protect your peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights are invaluable to building a community grounded in growth and understanding. If you found value in this video, Support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your engagement ensures we can continue sharing Stoic-inspired wisdom to enrich our daily lives. And don't forget to watch the next video displayed here to deepen your understanding of Stoicism and its transformative power. Together, let's trust wisely, live boldly, and strive to be better every day. See you soon.